Hello everyone, I'm Intu Mahin and welcome to another session. In the previous session, you learned how to create Pandas series object and how to access the information about the objects using different attributes. And in today's session, we'll focus on some essential Pandas operations for class 12 informatics practices and computer science. That is, selection, indexing and slicing of Pandas series, head and tail functions, reindexing, etc. These functions make working with large datasets easier by allowing us to retrieve specific portions of the data. So let's get started. So today you will learn head and tail functions of series, selection and indexing, slicing, reindexing, etc. First, indexing was selecting individual elements. To select data from a series, you can access elements by their labels or positions. We know for a series we can have labeled index and positional index. What is positional index? The integer index, that is called positional index. So to select data from a series, we can access elements by their labels or positions. Now the format is series object name, that should be the name of the series, then in the square bracket the index. The name of the series, then in the square bracket index, and it should be there inside print command. So give the index in square bracket along with its name. Now let's see this example. Here I have created a series. Which object is passed to create the series? This is a numpy array, right? We created this object by passing a range function. It is a numpy array. For creating a numpy array and the series, you have to import the libraries. Now let's assume the libraries are imported. Which are the libraries? Numpy library for array, Pandas library for series, right? So I created the series. Now how to access the element in the series? When we create a series like this, what will be the output of the series? What will be the output? In arrange function, the starting value is 2.75. The end value is 50 and the step value is 9.75. So which is the first element in the series? It is 2.75. Which is the next element? It is 2.75 plus 9.75, right? That is 12.50. Again plus 9.75, 22.25. 22.25 plus 9.75, 32. 32 plus 9.75, 41.75. So this is our series. At index A, we have 2.75. Index B, we have 12.50. C, 22.25. D, 32. And the last one is also A. We can have duplicate index in a series, 41.75. See here, for the print command, P must be in small letter. There is a correction here. Okay. So a series is created like this. Now, if I want to access the element, this, for example, 22.25. This is the element I want to access from the series. So how to write? The series name. What is the name of the series? SR. Right. Then in the square bracket, what we have to pass? The index. What is the index of 22.25? C. As C is a string, we have to enclose it in quotes. Right. So here, if I want to access the element 12.50, what is the code? It is print SR. Then in the square bracket, what has to be passed? B has to be passed because B is the index of 12.50. See. When I execute the command print SR, then in the square bracket B, what is the value at this index in the series SR, that will be displayed. Now we can use positional index also, right? The integer index also we can use. What will be the integer index here? We know positional index starts with 0. So for 2.75 it is 0. For 12.50 it is 1. Then here 2, 3, 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. They are the positional index here. Now if I want to access the element 22.25 using positional index, what has to be passed in the square bracket? That is 0, 1, 2. 2 has to be passed, right? So print SR, then in the bracket 2. What will be the output? 22.25. Is it clear? That is for accessing the elements in the series. We can pass the index of that particular element inside the square bracket. The name of the series, see the name of the series, then in the square bracket the element. Here I have created a series. S is the series. So if I want to access the element 40, how to access? Print S, then in the square bracket either I have to pass the label index or positional index. Right, here I am going to pass the label index. For 40 it is D. As it is a string, it must be enclosed in quotes. 40 is printed. Now by using positional index, print S. So here what is the index for 40? What is the positional index? It starts with 0. So 0, here A it is 0, 1, 2, 3. This is how we access the elements. Now here, see here we have a duplicated index, right? So with duplicate indices in a series object, all entries with the same index are returned. Here when we access A, both the values are returned. For A, there are two values here. See in the previous one we can see that. For 2.75 also the index is A. For 41.75 that is also A. So here both are returned. Now if we want to access more than one element, we have to pass the index as a list. You can also select multiple elements using a list of labels. So inside the square bracket you have to pass it as a list. Here I have created a series. The name of the series is data. How many elements are there? A, B, C, D, E, F. 6 elements are there. Right. Now print data. See inside the square bracket, again a square bracket. That is, this is a list of A, C, E. If you want to access more than one element, you have to pass it as a list. Now what will happen? At A, what is the index? At A, what is the value? That index and value. At C, what is the value? 300. E, 500. That will be returned. A, 100, C, 300, E, 500. This will be returned. So if we want to access more than one element from a series, we can pass it as a list. The index we can pass as a list. Here in our example, I want to access A and C. So how to pass the values at A and C? Print, then name of the series, open the square bracket, inside the square bracket a list. List of, pass the index A, C. Close the list bracket and then the square bracket. So a part of the series is returned. This is also in the form of a series, right? We have index and values and the data type. So this is in the form of a series. When we access more than one element, that will be in the form of a series. Both the index and the value will be returned. Next. Print data. Then in the bracket, I passed P. Do we have this P here? Do we have this P as the index in our series? No, we don't have. If the index is not present in the series, that will throw error. It will throw error. Same with the positional index. Here we have from 0 to 5, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we pass 7, that is not there in the series. In that case also it will return error. Next is slicing a series. What do you mean by slicing? Fetching a part of the series. That is called slicing a series. Slicing allows you to retrieve a portion of the series by specifying a start and stop index. It is same as list. In list we know how to do slicing, right? Here also it is same. It follows the same pattern as Python list. Here data is the series which we created here. This is the data series. We have A to F as the index and 100 to 600 as the values. There 1 colon 4. This is how we create a slice. 1 colon 4. The starting index colon the last index. When we pass the positional index, the n value will not be included. At the fourth index, what is the value? That will not be included. Here in our series, what is there in the index 1, positional index 1? It starts with 0. So at 0 we have 100, at 1 we have 200, 2 300, 3 400, 4, 500. So here it is 1 colon 4. Which are the values? 1 colon 4, 200, 300, 400, right? This is 1, index 1, 2, 3. At index 4, 500, that will not be included when we pass the positional index. See in this example, print S, then in the square bracket, I will pass 2 colon 5. 2 colon 5. So in this series, where is the second index? It starts with 0. So 0, 1, 2. For 30, we have the index 2. It will start from 30. C 30. Right. First it is C 30. Then which is the fifth index? 3, 4, 5. F60 is the fifth index, but that will not be included. So it will be C30, D40, E50. C30, D40, E50. Now next, we can pass labels also. In the slice, we can pass labels also. Labeled index. When we pass labeled index, what will happen? The n value will be included. Here, when we pass positional index, the n value will not be included. Here it will be included. B colon D. So at B, what is the value? From B to D. From B to D, which are the values? B 200, C 300, D 400. This is how we do slicing in series. When we pass positional index, what will happen? We pass the first value and the last value. Okay. The index of the index and first index and the last index. So it starts with the first index. Here index is 1. So it starts with the value at the index 1. That is B 200. But the n value will not be included. Here when we pass labels, the n value will be included. That is slicing. Next, reindexing. Reindexing is used to change the order of the index. It is just to change the order of the index, not the index. So how to write series object? The name of the series equal to, again, the series object dot reindex. Then we pass the new order. For example, here, which are the different index? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now if I want to change the order, see when I print S, what will be printed? Sorry, S. This will be printed. How to change the order? S equal to S dot. Right, S equal to S dot. Now which is a function? Reindex. See. Here series object equal to object dot reindex. Now in the bracket we pass the sequence in the new order. Inside the bracket sequence in the new order. Here I will give first I will give B, then C, D, E, F, G. Now I will give A. And when I print this, see at B20 the order has changed, right? It starts with B, B20, C30 and the last one is A10. So reindex is this function reindex is used to change the order of the index. Next is renaming index. Renaming index, we can assign new index to a series by using index attribute. So index attribute we learned, right? Index attribute returns the index of the series, right? It returns the index labels of the series. Here, by using the index attribute, we can change the index also. I am creating a series S1 here. S1 equal, how to create pd.series. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. Here what is the index? I haven't passed any index here. I don't have labeled index. So what will be the index? The positional index or integer index 0, 1, 2, 3. Right, 0, 1, 2, 3. Now I want to change the index. What has to be used? The index attribute. That is S1 dot index See here S1 dot index, then you have to initialize the element index. Now when you give the index, the number of elements must be same as the number of series. The number of elements in this list must be same as the number of elements in the series, otherwise it will throw error. So here I am going to pass this index equal to, I'll give A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Now when I print S1, see what is the index now? It is A, B, C, D. Now in case if the number of elements are not same, here I am adding one more E. Now the number of elements are not same. What will happen? It will throw error. Okay. Now next is selecting a subset from a series using loc and iloc. Using loc and iloc's function, we can select a subset from the series. A part of the series can be selected by using loc and iloc. In Pandas, series allows you to select subsets of data using loc and iloc. Loc, square bracket, inside the square bracket we pass the index. Okay. Loc is label based indexing. That is, along with loc we use index labels. Along with iloc we use positional index, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. So loc selects data based on the index label. See this example. Here a data is created by using a dictionary. Now using the dictionary we created a series. Then print s.log of B. How to write the log function? The series object name dot log, then in the square bracket you pass the index. So what is the value at that index? That will be returned. At B, what is the index? Sorry, at B, what is the value? 20. That will be returned. Right. Now we can pass, if we want to select more than one element, we can pass it as a list. Right. So inside the log function also we can pass it as a list. S.log, inside the log square bracket we pass A and C as a list. Now what happened? At A and C, which are the values that will be returned? A10, C30. In our example, this is S. Right. Here using log, that is S dot log. Now square bracket. Inside the square bracket, if you want to access the values at index C, E and G, how to write? Inside the square bracket you have to pass it as a list. Open the square bracket again for list C, G, E. Close the square bracket. Now we can access the values at C, G and E. It returns the object in the form of a series. See, index are there, values are there and D type. Now next is we can pass a slice in log. Print s.log A colon C. Now what will happen? When we use log function, along with log we use labels, right? So when we use labels, the end value will be included. So from A to C, which are the elements from A to C, that will be returned. Here A10, B20, C30. Those will be returned in the form of a series. This is how we select or access elements or fetch a part of the series by using log or iloc. Using log. Next is iloc. Iloc, integer or position based indexing. Iloc selects data by numerical index position like list or arrays. So here you can see this example, same example. Print s.iloc of 1. Along with iloc, if you use label index, it will throw error. Along with log, if you use positional index, that will throw error. Okay. So here s.iloc of 1. At position 1, what is there? 10 is at 0, 20 is at 1. Right. So 20 will be returned. Now inside iloc also we can pass list if we want to access more than one element. Here 0, 2. At 0th index what is there? 10. At second index we have 30. So 10 and 30 will be returned. Next, print. Here we can give a slice like log. But we have to pass the positional index. 0, 3. So in the slice, if we pass the integer index or positional index, the last value will be omitted, right? At 0, what is there? At 0, we have 10, right? At 0, it is A10. Then at 1, we have B20. At 2, we have C30. At 3, we have D40, but the last value will be omitted as it is positional index. So it is A10, B20, C30. D-type in 64. So next is difference between loc and iloc. What is the difference? Along with loc, we use labeled index. Along with iloc, we use positional index. That is, loc works with index labels. iloc works with integer positions. That is positional index. Now, when we use loc, inclusive of stop, the stop value will be included. Here, stop value will not be included. It will be excluded. Here in loc, error if label not found. If the label is not there, it will throw error. Here in iloc also, if the index is out of range, if the number is out of range, it will throw error. These are the references. iloc is label based and loc is label based and iloc is positional based. Then along with loc, the n value will be included. Along with iloc, n value will not be included. These are the differences between loc and iloc. Next is head and tail functions. Head function. The head function returns the first few rows of the series. Using head function, we can retrieve the first few rows of the series. By default, it shows the first 5 rows. So this is an example for a series. Now if I write print the series name dot head of. Head of means head. Then open and close the parenthesis. What will happen? The first 5 values from the series will be returned in the form of a series. Which are the first 5 values? 100, 200, 300, 400 and 500. So along with the index, that will be returned. Now suppose I am passing a number here. Inside the head function, I am passing 2 as the argument. So the first 2 will be returned. This is how it works. So when we pass a number, that many rows or that many elements from the beginning will be returned. Here it is 2, so A100 and B200 will be returned. Right, you have to write the data type also, D type in 64 as it is a series. So if you don't pass anything, what will be, how many rows will be returned? The first 5. 5 is the default value. Now in the tail function, returns the last few rows of the series. From the end, it will return the rows. By default, it shows, it is last 5 rows. Not first 5, last 5 rows will be returned. In this example, data.tail of. So from the last B200, C300, D400, E500 and F600, the last 5 is returned. Now data.tail of 4, so that the last 4 will be returned. Here the last 4 is C300, D400, E500, F600, D type in 64. That is head and tail function. Head is used to return the first few rows of the series. By default, the value is 5. Tail is used to return the last few rows of the series and the default value is 5. Now we predict the output of this. Here a series is created. Here there is a correction. One more value should be there, right? Otherwise it will throw error. So here pd.series 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. Here also it is 6, so it is fine. Now print S of A. What is the output S of A? Print S of A. This is how we access the elements of the series, right? S, then in the square bracket A. A, we have this A index in the series. At index A we have 100. So what will be returned? 100 will be returned. Now print S colon, print S, then in the square bracket colon 3. This is slicing. Okay, this one is slicing. Now here the first argument is missing. The start value is missing. If the start value is missing, by default it is 0. So this means 0 colon 3. 0 colon 3, which are the different values? As it is positional index, at 3, the value at 3 will be removed, right? So it is 0, 1, 2. At 0 we have 100, 1, 200, 2, 300. That is A 100, B 200, C 300 will be returned. Now print S dot log C colon E. Using log, we have to use index labels. So index labels are used here, C colon E. Here it is index label, so the last value will be included. C 300, D 400, E 500 will be returned as a series. Next is S dot iloc 1 colon 5. So at 0 we have 100, 1 200, 2 300, 3 400, 4 500 and 5 600. At 5 we have 600, so it will be omitted. From 1 to 4 it will be returned. That is at 1 we have B 200, B 200, C 300, D 400, E 500. The last one is print S dot tail of 3. We know tail function is used to retrieve. Here there is a correction. One more parenthesis must be there to close the print function. Okay. S dot tail of 3. So what will be returned? Tail returns the elements from the last. So the last 3 values will be returned. That is D 400, E 500 and F 600. Now let's quickly recap. In today's session, you learn how to access or select the elements of a series by indexing or slicing. What do you mean by slicing? Accessing a part of the series, that is called slicing. Accessing or selecting a part of the series. And how to access the elements by using iloc and loc. What is the difference between loc and iloc? Loc and iloc both are used to access elements from Pandas series or from data frame. Now what is the difference? Loc use label index to access the elements. iloc use positional index to access the element. Now when we use loc, the n value will be included. When we use iloc, n value will be excluded. Next is head and tail function. They are also used to access elements from the series. Head function allows us to retrieve elements from the beginning of the series. Tail function allows us to retrieve elements from the end of the series. By default, the number of rows fetched will be 5. Then we learn reindexing. What is reindexing? Reindexing is changing the order of the index. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next session.